All right, so let's move on to our interview segment now. Joining us in studio is Dr. Matsanga, and he will be helping us talk in depth about the Eurobond and the Ugandan elections. So let's begin with the issue of the Eurobond. And I'd like us to begin with just to refer to the Standard newspaper on page 13. I see here a press release by the National Treasury in response to allegations that 140 billion shillings of the Eurobond money is missing. And so the National Treasury seems to have accounted for where that money has gone in page 13 of the Standard. This is what you were talking about when we had you here earlier, that they should have accounted for where the money went.
Yes, and I said it. This is now very good communication. Communication strategy is the key to any institution. If you come up with, create windows of doubt, come out straight. And the Honorable Ratiki is my friend. I told him, this is communicate. Tell the Kenyans, this is how it was spent. Most Kenyans don't know that part of this money of the bond is servicing deficit. You had a deficit of 900 million, a billion, during the budget. And it is now up to the various ministries to come up how they have spent some of this money. To a layman who has not done any economics and any financing, he would come up and say, no, the money is missing. But when you look at this one, it now structures how it went, where it went, and then you look at almost, you are talking of 250 billion. Even if you paid it today from the Eurobond, Kenya still has to service 650 billion more. So the condemnation without facts and also briefing people without coherent strategy of saying this is where we stand, this is the official statement, it also causes those problems that we see, and it has been taken over by politics.
But why has it taken the National Treasury so long to release this?
Communication strategy. Answer. I told you the other week. I was here with you. I told you this is now very good. Rotich has done something. Everybody who has gone to school and those who have not gone to school, Mwananchi there in the rural area will think this Eurobond is a very big bread or a big, you know, they don't understand. The Mwananchi don't understand. They only know that their money has been stolen. And that's it. So if you put facts and the MPs go back, I'm telling you, some of the MPs don't know what this Eurobond is. They need to go back to their constituents and tell them, no, we had to borrow to service a loan of 900 billion. But some of this money has gone into various ministries. Communication. And tell the people facts. That's why the opposition came up with, the former Prime Minister came up and said, no, something is missing here because we are not being told that this fact, and he brought his figures. But when you look at this, you sit down and read properly and look at if you have done any financing. Unfortunately, I'm not I did top one, and not deep like you people who are doing big master's degree and a PhD. I did political science throughout, but I know once a country has got a deficit of 900 billion, even if you sell Eurobond, you need to sell like 4. You need to float. In fact, apparently, this confusion of talk about Eurobond, you have brought yourself into a quagmire state where you have now to look for other people. People will not touch your things. You have spoiled. That's why Ruto was saying there's sabotage here. And that's why the president yesterday said there was sabotage, because you are now, nobody in Europe will like to touch Kenya's bond, because it brings you even a problem when you don't have it. So this is a very good strategy for Rotich, and I hope the government and the opposition will come on an underground compromised position. With all, Raila is a former prime minister. He is not an ordinary Kenyan. He has that status. So that the government weigh in, moving him from his house to record a statement in that small building might create us problems. You know, Christmas is approaching. We should just go slowly, lower our tempers. Don't be high. Lower the temper. I'm a conflict resolution expert. You sit on table, talk, bring the facts. We can get these facts. In fact, dispute them, like now.
So now that the National Treasury has accounted for the 140
Yes.
billion shillings that was allegedly lost through
Yes.
corruption,
Yes.
does that nullify the claims by the opposition?
Let him also, look, you see, to balance this, he says he has facts. Buy a page. Buy a page and put the
Show the
facts and
facts.
say,
Show the facts.
this is where so and so banked this. Don't be like Morgan Changarai who just say, come and take my Zimbabwe. Kill them whether they die. Tomorrow I'll rule a free country with animals. Let's be honest that this is now a good step towards government analyzing the money, saying it went here. Now it is up to the individual ministries now to come up and show us where is this money. We might find even more corruption in these ministries. That's why President Kenyatta is saying, kila mtu abebe msalaba yake. Raila is also correct that if he has faults, now if I were him, I would also print out.
Yeah,
So
actually,
that we
this
now
would be a good time.
don't put Kenyans who are looking for preparation of their Christmas in tension. And the visitors are here. Then you want to quarrel before visitors. No. Just put this in black and white. Mzee Raila is my friend for over 32 years. I've known him since 1982 when I was working with Dr. Milton Obote government. Now, authoritatively, I can tell him I know him. Calm down and we sort. These are things that if the people lack how to talk, we shall help them to talk.
Right. Now, Dr.
Yes.
Matsanga, you also mentioned that the Eurobond money was used to fill the deficits in the budget, a deficit of
opening statement here, can't you see? Deficit financing, 470.5 billion. Now you have to give them something. They can't see you flying with the Eurobond, which was oversubscribed. Then you run away. You don't service your debt.
Right.
You see,
so
the problem here is it goes back, Michelle. The railway is passing through Taita. It's passing through all this area of Ukambani. You can see people are not, the government is not communicating nicely to
on
the
what
people
they are doing.
what they have done. Bring out. President Kenyatta should whip his communication strategies. Wake up, put these things to the public, let them disagree with you, let them agree with you. If you go on doing piecemeal, you see now we have taken 4 weeks over Eurobond. It has become a song. In fact, people are going to make a song out of Eurobond. Yet facts are there. Why can't they do a communication strategy which is coherent so that the opposition does not also fight? It has a right to fight in a constitutional dispensation, constructively. But if we have a problem, figures are not coming. Now Rotich has brought the figures on table. And they're here. Every Kenyan who does not buy a newspaper, MP will go and hold rallies and say, this is what we have. And these are facts. You cannot see the Eurobond money today. Also, that is also a mystery. If you are going to tell people where's the money on the ground, does it come here like that? No. If you are constructive, it doesn't come like that. It comes through so many other ways.
So now that this has been printed out and Kenyans can see where the 140 million shillings went, does this mean the Eurobond saga is over?
No, they can query because Rotich has put it forward. Query him. And maybe out of these queries, and as I have said, I've given Raila a credit on NYS. You see, we are recovering Range Rover. Kumbe, when they just use the people's money to buy Range Rovers.
The latest ones, actually.
Give Raila that credit. That was very good. He shouted, and the people took up the case. The minister resigned. That is good. But now on this one, don't take us longer to, we want to reach Jerusalem by 20 already. Don't take us to Jericho, stop us there, then return us to Damascus. Come with figures. The government has said, we have the figures. Now opposition also, go and buy a newspaper page, you have the money, and put your figures where you think 144. That's how to resolve a conflict. Where you think it was stolen. Hakuna kuzungumizia huko nyuma. Say it is here. This is the man who stole. This was taken here. This was now we shall compare. And wananchi hapa everywhere in Bondo, in Kwale, in Turkana, they will say yes. The former prime minister, leader of opposition, has a point. This money, where did it go? But now, if we go on ping pong, even visitors who are coming here who think of depositing their money here, they will think there is a Kwagama estate, a state of ambience where the people just, fight over something which is, you are aware that the Eurobond index has collapsed, has gone down now. They have lost some points in the stock exchange because of this mess. Yeah,
and that's another question I want to ask. Of course, the saga has already started, and it's had worldwide attention. We had the US and the UK also wanting to intervene to find out whether this money was actually lost and where it went, if it truly had been lost. So, can this be fixed for Kenya in terms of investors, foreign investors investing in the country?
If there are, usually, if there is money lost, United States, you see, people don't know. In United States, when you use $1, whether you do your buying of your shirt or your dress online with $1,
they will know.
They will know. So the United States would have blown out all this already. And the UK, for example, there are institutions in the United Kingdom that check fraud. That's why they find some people who took fraud long time ago. And then they bring them here to hammer them. So United Kingdom is not a place where you walk in and walk out and walk with money of huge amount of 140. If there are facts, the United Kingdom, the ambassador would have already said, no, there is a problem there. And they would have publicized it. Newspapers blow it up. So President Uhuru should also know that up there, once there is a problem on Eurobond, they will blow it up. So we would know. So I don't think, now this is a very good beginning. I appeal to both sides to start dialogue. That, not the other dialogue of which they have been talking about. Forth, I am talking about how to put facts. If you're a peace negotiator, you want to look at conflict. You remove the bad things that will spoil your talks. Put them aside. Now, me, if I were the one to rally this, I would know what is supposed to be put. What to take out and what to talk about.
Right.
So with the Eurobond, now the government has tabled its figures. You might call them, in opposition they might call them, they are not correct figures. Also bring yours.
Bring yours.
So that we can say what we call, bring it on. With each side, bring it on. Now we see, we compare constructively. Don't engage yourselves in name calling each other. Don't also, they give that. I'm saying it openly. The former prime minister is a former prime minister. He has got, that's why he still has that motorcade. Even if you took him to court today, he will have bail today. Because they know where he lives. Give him that decorum. Just look for him. If you don't want him to carry his masses into the city to disrupt the guests. You see? Because there are certain people who are there to disrupt the people. And if you touch them, you can also disrupt the
That's an even bigger issue, right? So what we're waiting for now is to see whether former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and the opposition will table the figures and their data in support of the claims. All right, so let's move on now to another issue. We're talking about the Ugandan elections. And I want you also to open your paper, The Standard, on Sunday on page 24. That's where we'll be beginning with in this conversation. Why Ugandan polls a litmus test for Kenya's 2017 epic battle. Now, Uganda is headed to the general elections in February of next year. And so now we've seen top leaders in Kenya, specifically Deputy President William Ruto and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, support leaders in the Ugandan campaigns. we had Deputy President William Ruto actually accompany President Museveni in his campaigns in Uganda. And this comes just 2 months before former Prime Minister Raila Odinga had invited members of the opposition to asking them to come together to defeat President Museveni. What do Kenyan leaders have to do with Ugandan politics?
First of all, everybody in Uganda is asking me to comment on this. And since I hammered the peace process, and I made it very, very clear, peace return to Uganda. My efforts, my sacrifice, my people in northern Uganda sleep peacefully. I did it, sacrificed. I have vowed never to get involved in the politics of Uganda again. But I will comment, because Kenya and Uganda are almost the same. It's a boundary. The Bagisu, where I come from, and Wetangula and Wamarwa, Musikari Kombo, they come to Mbale to get permission to go and do ceremonies, which are called Bamasabaluya ceremonies. We had the Ruto and the Kalenjin and other tribes. They are the same. In Kapchorwa, just as Busia. In fact, we have in Busia, Mude Awori and Agure Aori, my colleague. We worked together in Obote government. Mude Awori is born on the Ugandan side, and he was a minister. Up to now, he's a high-ranking officer in the Uganda government. Nobody has chased him. But we have Agure, the eldest brother, is here. So, if Deputy President Ruto goes across, it's the same people. What
because
mistake?
he was actually speaking his mother tongue during one of these campaigns, just to see how comfortable he is.
I can use the mother tongue. If there was a campaign in Sirisa, Bungoma, Kandui, Kitale, I can go and use my mother tongue to speak to them. I don't speak English in Bungoma. I speak my mother tongue, which they understand. Most of the people from Bungoma are from Butiru, Bubutu, Bududan, and Bali district, Sironko. So we are together. But the problem here comes like this, and let me be very honest about Uganda politics. I have already made my statement very clear that by 12 o'clock, the results will be over. The only worry that I'm watching now is I fight internationally with Kofi Annan and Ocampo. I've already seen them in London. I saw in a big newspaper in London meeting the opposition. I'm watching them, I'm following, because wherever Kofi Annan steps, there is always so chaos. So this headline is not very good. It says it is a litmus
Ugandan
test.
polls are a litmus test for Kenya's epic battle.
Oh my God, I wouldn't like to see this, because in Uganda, almost everybody is militarized, and it could create a big problem, which is not going to happen. The losers, Amama Babazi, Besigye, these are colleagues we have been together with, especially Besigye. We have fought for freedom, return on political parties. I did my part. Parties came, hallelujah. My party was headed, we lost. We have given up. We have not said the party is not there, it is there. But if the leader, the politics of Uganda is like this, it's like the politics of Zimbabwe. Mugabe wins the election in the rural areas. He wins it without even intimidation. The British and they call him intimidation. No. He wins. He's very popular. Another problem we have in Uganda, Museveni is very popular in the rural areas. We make noise in the cities because we have seen hamburger here, eaten a hamburger in London, and this is where the problem is. The programs of the NRM system, I don't support some of them on removing the men. You know the problem which is here. The same men who are standing against President Museveni are the people who extended the term limit. They removed it.
Right.
That's why in politics, when you lose once, step aside. Allow new blood. That's why the Uganda politics is very complicated. Deputy President Ruto is entitled. The opposition also recently visited Raila What is wrong? Parties have alliances.
Right.
ANC has an alliance with ZANU-PF.
But you see, what's happening in Uganda with Deputy President Ruto and Raila is that they're also throwing words at each other using the Ugandan politicians. For example, Ruto asked in one of the political campaigns with Museveni, how can the opposition from Uganda travel to Kenya to seek help from their counterparts on how to win the election, yet the very same people they're visiting are all losers in the election?
Just as
So these are the words he's been using.
Just as the opposition also, when they came here, they also said Jubilee government works with Museveni to intimidate you. You see, it's allowed. Parties have alliances. The delegates conference can call Jubilee. Ruling parties usually have alliances with another ruling party.
So this doesn't go against the rule of interference with internal affairs
which
of a
interference?
country.
Anybody who is only people who have not studied international relations or who have studied it in the wrong universities that would say there is interference in a discussion over that. No. He was invited. He speaks the same language like the Kabuchora, the Kusebens, who are on the other side. Some of them are also up to Nandi, Kapsabet, and they are there. They have been assimilated in this, naturalized in this country. So there is no, don't bring artificial border of the British, which put us apart, so that we can fall to pieces and call each other. That is the same notion that people here point Matsanga home is Ugandan. No, Uganda is just a border. That demarcation. But I'm part of, if Wetangula speaks, we work, we speak together. If Musikari Kombo speaks, we speak together. We eat the same culture, the matoke, the kuku, ingo. It's the same delicacy across. So what is wrong with Ruto going that way when also the opposition came this side? They should not bring that side. Museveni is a regional power. Militarily, you cannot dispute that. He's a regional power. He has helped in Somalia. One of the things that I like about him is the Somalia crisis. That one, you can kill me if you want, but I will support him on Somalia because he went there, he hammered these boys, and we still hammer. Because for Uganda, we don't take prisoners. Many of them, that's why Uganda is safe. And the people are voting Uganda. In Uganda, people are not voting the stomach. They are voting for peace.
Right.
Museveni has guaranteed them peace. Some of us have been fighting Museveni since 1985. But we gave the war. We went to table. Right, because there was now this peace is growing. No Ugandan would like his building to be demolished. Right. So some of them, why he's winning, he might, I have already said by 12 o'clock, because the opposition is poorly funded, is poorly disorganized, it has a problem. Now it is bringing Ocampo and the Kofi Annan, oh my. Right. What is all this? Me, I am not party to this. Okay. Because these people are bringing more chaos. Kofi Annan brought a chaos in Kenya here, solved the problem, then opened the wound. So if I see him meeting my opposition colleagues, they are my friends, and I have told them on the phone, you cannot do this. Right. Or is there a dossier that is flowing around that could also ignite the Kenyan side?
Okay. Dr. Matsanga, time is not on our side. Yes. We have come to the end of our interview segment. Thank you very much for joining us in studio. I think we should have you again to discuss this at length, especially the issue of Ugandan politics alone in the run-up to the election. And
you are welcome.
Yes, we will definitely have you here again. Thank you very much for joining us. You are watching Weekend Express. We have been discussing the issue of the Eurobond in Kenya, as well as the Ugandan elections and the involvement of Kenyan leaders, Deputy President William Ruto and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga in Ugandan politics. You are watching Weekend Express. My name is Michelle Ngele.